Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's sermon prep. A bit different, might even say a bit casual, but as you know, I'm away from the parish, or have been away from the parish from Sunday evening. I'm in Pechepston attending an AGROP meeting. AGROP is the annual gathering for recently ordained priests. So we've been here since Sunday. I will be returning to the parish tomorrow, which is Friday. But let me show you something first. Just have a look at this. That's the beautiful view that I am having, and it's awe-inspiring. You look at the power and the greatness of God who works in mysterious ways and creates such beautiful works. It's a beautiful place to be in. Anyway, we are not there. We are in sermon prep, and this coming weekend is the 16th Sunday in ordinary time. And our first reading is from the book of Genesis, the first book of the Bible, and that is chapter 18, verses 1 to 10. This is where we find those three men, or some call them angels, who visit Abraham and Sarah. And because Abraham is so hospitable to them, there's a promise that the following year they're going to have a son. "Where is your wife Sarah?" they asked him. "She's in the tent," Abraham replied. Then his guest said, "I shall visit you again next year without fail, and your son and your wife will then have a son." This, I'm sure, was hard to believe for Abraham and even for Sarah, because as you continue to read from this chapter 18, you hear that Sarah laughs, and now laugh in Hebrew translates to Isaac or Yitzhak, the son of laughter, the son of who laughs, because Sarah didn't really believe what the angels were telling him or what those three men were telling him. But God fulfills his promise, and he comes back the following year, and Sarah does have a son. The son is named Isaac, and we know the story about Isaac and his family. Our responsorial psalm is from Psalm 14, verses 2 to 5. "The just will live in the presence of the Lord. Lord, who shall dwell on your holy mountain? He who walks without fault, he who acts with justice and speaks the truth from his heart, he who does not slander with his tongue." We see already a pattern developing. Abraham is hospitable to those guests, and God rewards him with a son. And here the psalmist tells us what sort of people can be in contact with God. It's those people who walk without fault, people who act with justice, who speak truth from their hearts. The second stanza is going to say that they do no wrong to their brother, and they cast no slur on a friend. They hate people who do evil. So to be one with God, to be with him, we need somehow to be willing to change even in ourselves. The second reading is from the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians, chapter 1, verses 24 to 28. St. Paul here says to the church of the Colossians that it makes me happy to suffer for you as I'm suffering now, and in my own body to do what I can to make up for all that has still to be undergone by Christ for the sake of his body, the church. St. Paul says it doesn't matter what happens to me in my ministry. It doesn't matter if I suffer, because somehow I'm sharing in the sufferings of Christ, as long as I do it for my brothers and sisters. And you see, that's where ministry is so important. Serving others, being available for other people. That's where it plays such a huge role. With that, whenever we do anything in the church, any ministry we participate in, it should never be about ourselves. It should never be about me. It should be about first and foremost, the glorification of God, and secondly, for the salvation of our brothers and sisters. Because as Christians, yes, as we look forward and we strive to purify ourselves and gain our own salvation, but at the same time, we try to make salvation easier for our brothers and sisters. And that's what St. Paul is speaking about in the second reading to the Colossians. And then our gospel is a gospel from Luke chapter 10, verses 38 to 42. And it's a story that most of us know. It's about those two sisters, Martha and Mary. We know that Martha works and Mary listens. The gist of the story basically is that Jesus came to that village, and the woman, Martha, welcomed him into her home. And she called Mary, who sat down at the Lord's feet and listened to him. And Martha was busy doing whatever she was doing in the kitchen. And she notices this. She notices that she's fiddling around. She's up and down. She's trying probably to prepare a gourmet meal for the Lord. And her sister is just sitting at the feet of the Lord. And then this troubles her, and she comes to Jesus and says, Lord, do you not care that my sister is leaving me to do the serving all by myself? Please tell her to help me. And Jesus says, Martha, Martha, you worry and you fret about so many things, yet so few are needed. Indeed, there's only one. And then we are told that Mary has chosen the better place, to sit at the feet. You see, there wasn't a problem with the serving of Martha. There wasn't a problem with the ministering of her. But this is where the fault comes in with most of us, is that as we minister, we are also worried about what other people are doing. We are not focusing on the work that we are supposed to be doing. We are worrying about what other people are doing while we are sort of slaving away. Jesus says, maybe we don't have to fret so much, especially if it's going to cause us to complain. Maybe let's just be disciples who listen. Maybe that's the first step we should take. Listen to the Lord. Listen to his word. This is what we're going to be listening to as we come to the 16th Sunday of Ordinary Time. And I hope to see you guys during the weekend, both in person and online. So have a great one and cheers. Bye-bye.